Who are the parties on Armando De La Rosa? All right, and where's Armando De La Rosa? You can come forward, please. The court is going to call 2022 CR 3521, State of Texas versus Armando De La Rosa. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
You're not gonna for the defense, Judge.
And are you Mr. De La Rosa? All right, Mr. De La Rosa, you entered a plea to count one on May 9th. That was a plea of no contest. You applied for deferred adjudication. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The state waived count two in the repeater paragraph. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state opposes your application, and they are taking two cases into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objections to the PSI report from the state?
None from the state.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
Just one part, Judge. When we're talking about gang affiliation, I spoke with my client about it. They still have him with the Hermanos Pistoleros. He claims he has not been with that gang for quite some time, that he's been trying to get that, I guess, fixed over at the jail. They're still ranking him as that, but he's saying he is not associated. So other than that, that's it.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
We don't, Judge.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Just argument.
All right, then state you're opposed. The court will hear argument.
We are, Judge. Judge, I think in this particular case, my understanding is the plea agreement was we're asking for 10 years and he's applying for probation and we're opposed, correct, Judge?
Yes, he's applying for deferred adjudication and also community supervision, if not deferred adjudication.
Understood. Judge, I think the biggest thing is dating back to 1994, Mr. De La Rosa has he has 18 arrests resulting in 11 felony convictions. He's been placed on community supervision 5 times. He's been revoked 4 of those times. He's been in and out of prison, it looks like, for his entire adult life. This is a case where I think that he has been in the system for so long that I don't think he's a good candidate for probation. Other judges have taken chances on him on probation, and it seems as though every time he has been revoked for those probations. In addition, there is 3 cases he's here for, 3 felony cases. 2 of them are being TIC'd. He's received the benefit of the bargain in this particular case with us lowering his exposure to 10 years. We'd ask that you sentence him to 10 years and you deny his applications for probation or deferred.
All right, defense.
Judge, although there is no dispute that my client has a long criminal history, as you see in the PSI, he also had a very difficult childhood. Drugs seem to be the main problem here. He has come to terms with his addiction. He understands that he needs treatment. While he's been incarcerated, Judge, he has been very, very proactive, and not only Narcotics Anonymous, trying to get a referral for Haven for Hope, but he has a slew of, more certificates than I've ever seen any client hand me. I'm going to show them real quick to the state judge, because I'd like to offer them to the court for review.
The Gatorade never left the building.
And neither did the person.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so these are not being offered into evidence. It's just for the court to review.
Correct, Judge.
We have no objection.
All right, just give me a moment to review these. Thank you.
My client, prior to being incarcerated on this, also had a job at the Spin Express as a laundromat. He has expressed to me that I'm still waiting for him. If he were to get out, he's ready for treatment. He understands that he's not going to get away from this lifestyle without treatment. I've expressed to him, and I've gone through the Taffy Val saying that SATIF is what is being requested. He's asking for a chance to go through lifetime, Judge, but understands that if he needs to do SATIF, that is what needs to happen. And he also wanted to address that.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name for the record? All right, what would you like to say to the court?
I know that my history is very, very long. I've been addicted to drugs since I was 10 years old now. I've been fighting my addiction for a long time due to traumatic stress that I had when I was little and being sexually assaulted twice. I had no excuse for myself. I had no excuse for anything I've done. But I do ask for forgiveness, for leniency in this chance, because I'm going to recovery and I've seen all this. I can do something better with myself now.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions. All right. Now, mind you, your criminal history is sort of like a credit report. And in credit reports, people look at your credit reports to see if they can loan you money. So people look at your criminal history to see if you would be a good candidate for probation. Now, mind you, I don't put any weight to any cases that were dismissed because there's dismissed. I wasn't there. I don't know why they were dismissed. It doesn't say why they were dismissed other than guilty of a different charge. All right. So I see in 1995, you had an evading detention. You were sentenced to 6 months. What did you learn from 1995 in that evading detention and being in custody?
Some people more criminal activity with the people that are wrong.
Well, let's not go there and blaming other people.
No, I'm saying that I just have more ideas from not understanding myself. Also angry with myself. I had no recovery.
All right. Then we have an evading detention or arrest from 2011. What did you learn? You were placed on probation. They gave you probation for 1 year. And probation is designed, hopefully, to rehabilitate. So I'm assuming you were drug tested. And if you were going to be positive, you were positive. If you needed help for that, they gave you help for that by saying, hey, do you want to do the DOEP course? Or do you want to do, inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment? So what did you learn from 2011?
I didn't report.
All right. So someone was trying to help you and you chose not to report. All right. In that same time, we had a criminal trespass to private property. So those are your misdemeanors, right? Now let's go to felony. And this was before my time. 1994, you were placed on probation. A motion to revoke was filed. So I don't have that before me. So I don't know what they were alleging in that motion to revoke. But the motion was withdrawn and continued on probation, which tells me, and this is me making an assumption, usually when a motion is withdrawn, either they've said, hey, we just want you to do A, B, and C, and we'll withdraw the motion and you agreed to it. But you didn't, because then in December, they filed a motion to revoke your probation and you were sentenced to state jail time. So what did you learn from that encounter?
I didn't do anything under my conduct.
Right. And then we also have the burglary of the habitation. You were placed on probation for that. It was revoked. Then we move on to November 94. Theft 1,500 to 20,000, motion revoked. What did you learn from that? Then we have 1995, an unauthorized use of a vehicle. You're placed on probation. It was revoked. What did you learn? What did you learn from being at the state jail facility? Then we have 1998. You're given state jail time on that. And then we have April. So I'm assuming this possession less than a gram for February 1998. You were sentenced to state jail time. You were given credit for that. You get out. And then in April 1998, you have a burglary of a habitation and you're sentenced to 5 years. What did you learn in 1998? Then we have July 2006, burglary of a building theft. You were sentenced to 2 years in the state jail facility. What did you learn? Then we have 2011, a second evading arrest detention, where you were sentenced and then you were paroled. And this is what I know about parole from my experience and representing people on parole. They do give you courses, whatever you need. If you need drug rehabilitation, they give that to you. They come out and visit you. They check on you. So what did you learn from being arrested, going into prison, being released, and being on parole? All right. So that's in January 2011. Then we have November 2011. and that's evading arrest detention. Then we come to 2015. 2015, you have another theft under $1,500 enhanced. You were given probation for 3 years, and then a motion to revoke was filed. Did you learn anything? And then these other cases were taken in consideration. And now we're here in 2022, and you have possession with intent to deliver controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4,200 grams. The state is proceeding on count 1. And that count 1, I believe, is the first degree. Is that correct?
It is, Judge.
All right. So I read the stipulated evidence in that, and in that you had digital scales. So what were you doing with digital scales?
I'm an addict now. I don't do sell no drugs now.
Did you need,
They arrested me, you're gonna have a history.
let me ask you this. What are digital scales for? Were you weighing out your food? What were you doing with the digital scales? Because what I know from my experience and being in treatment courts and representing people who have drug issues, they don't need to weigh out their drugs before they take them. So what were you doing with digital scales?
This is what very good the girl that we're looking for when I was picked up. We're looking for her in the farm with us. She left me the backpack.
She left you the backpack and she left you digital scales? And she left you digital scales. That's what you're talking about.
And I'm trying to, when we put them in the, I put them in the trunk now. And that's exactly what happened.
You put digital scales in the trunk?
Yeah, because I didn't want to, they're not mine. So I was getting rid of them out of my motel room because I was trying to go with me.
All right. Any questions, defense?
No questions, Judge.
State, any questions?
No, Judge.
Just a little argument.
All right, the court will hear argument. I've heard the argument from the state. What is your argument?
Judge, and I know we've just gone through extensively his criminal history. A lot of these cases were sentenced at the same time. I expect what happened was he was potentially on probation, maybe picked up other charges, and they were all consolidated together. Sometimes it takes an individual hitting rock bottom before they start to try to claw their way back up, Judge. I would just point again to my client's actions while he's been in custody. He didn't just sit there feeling sorry for himself. He has started to try to get treatment to counteract the effect that amphetamine is having in his life. He is ready to do treatment, Judge. If this honorable court blesses him with probation, he'd be ready to go straight, stay in custody and go straight to SADF, Judge. I believe that only through treatment will we break this cycle of him being recharged and incarcerated.
All right. Mr. De La Rosa, I'm not going to grant you deferred adjudication. I'm going to find you guilty. They do have a therapeutic community at the prison. What I can tell you is therapeutic community will not extend your time at the prison. If I were to sentence you to 10 years, you're not going to be extended more than 10 years because you decided to be in therapeutic community. I have no authority to force them to place you in a therapeutic community, so you'll have to ask for it. You understand? So would you like to be placed in the therapeutic community?
It's not.
All right. So I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent, taking consideration 2022 CR 2011 and 2022 CR 2012. I'm going to ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community. Would either party like to argue with regards to, well, I guess the agreement was for 10 years. All right. And I'll send you to 10 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? And because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right. Good luck to you, Mr. De La Rosa.
The same.
And
The case
state,
is
do you have those
dismissed.
dismissals?
Dismissed.